bad driving schools. There's a reason why you have good schools. There's a reason why you have poor schools. It's about the people who lock in. Tommy, can you do me a favor and turn on your light, please? Example, ask Tommy to turn on this light. We all know that you got to have your light on. So that's the expectation that I set up for myself. So now Tommy has his light on. And that's a simple ask. If your coach asks, hey, over Christmas break, we're going to have practice. I'm giving you the schedule a year early so you can make adjustments. Some of you won't be able to go to practice over Christmas break. Some of you will be able to go to practice. And the high level programs, students make commitments. And your parents understand, okay, you're good enough to get a scholarship. You need to listen to your coach. You had a great game. The coach is going to talk to University of Texas. The coach is going to talk to Nebraska. Okay, you have to get an A- out of this class. You got a C+. You're going to have to take the class over in the summer. So that's that expectation. And then a lot of people don't want to make that commitment. Some of your parents will make the commitment. Honey, you drop them off in the morning, I'll pick them up. Okay, grandma will pick up on the weekends. So it takes a commitment. It takes a village to teach someone how to drive. And that's what I find the really good students are. The mom comes, the dad comes. I meet both parents. I say hi. I introduce myself. And then we drive. The parents are always smiling. And it's a good thing. So it's about that parent communication. And it's about you just leveling what you want to learn. So I need you to put in some questions. Okay? Put in some questions about driver's education. Put in some questions about your learning instruction. Okay? And remember, all kids don't want to drive. Some of your peers don't make it. Okay? Because maybe anxiety, maybe they're not sure yet. Okay? Everyone doesn't drive at 14, 9, or 15, or 16, or 17, or 18. Okay? There is a shortage of instructors across the country. Driving schools are looking for instructors like me. They're looking for instructors who want to come in and teach this class, who want to sit in a car 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. Driving for me is not a problem. If I want to drive 100 hours, I can, but that's not what I want with my life. I want to be able to come home, see my family, hang out, enjoy the holidays, okay? I could be driving Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, but I'm not going to. I'll be driving this weekend, next weekend, that's fine. The schedule's set. So just make that commitment to learning and realize that your instructors are trying to do the best they can, from not just going around in circles, taking you through the parking lot, taking you through the neighborhood, taking you on downtown drives, on roundabouts, on main roads, on side roads, on little bitty curvy roads. And if you put your head down and just work, time goes like that. If you're lazy, you're like, oh my God, I got to be here another 2 hours. So I don't look at it like that journey. And at the end of the day, I look at who did I help learn how to drive? How did they improve? Okay? And I look at things I need to work on as an instructor. So I need you to put your question in because this is your class. Why does my drive start so early? Because I'm an early person. That's why. I can do my own schedule. I used to drive 9 to 12, but I get home later. So if 8 o'clock is early for you, I won't apologize. I could start at 7 in the morning. And then I could be done even earlier. But 8 o'clock is good for me. And your high school or pre-college students, you're taking grad classes, college classes, we're up. We're ready. Most of you are in school. Your school starts at 8, 8:30, 9. So I don't apologize for setting up an 8 o'clock drive. That's good. So you have to learn to get up. If you want to be productive and take over the world and seize the day, you got to get up. How old does your passenger have to be? They have to be 21 years old. Every state's different. The state says someone 21 needs to be your coach. They will document your hours. They will make sure you get your enough hours, and we'll go over some of those things. Okay. So the people at the state capitol are not dumb. They are looking at the common good for the public. And that's really important. You want to look for the common good. What is best for the community? Okay. That's really important. When you get your license, can you drive alone? The answer is yes and no. It depends on how old you are. It depends on how many hours you have. So I like it because it really forces you guys to look at the law. So you need to look at what every driver must know. But it depends on how old you are, how many hours you have. Keep the questions coming. I like them. They're pure. When 16 is their time, you have to stop driving. Everyone in here, I believe, really wants to drive. Some of your parents are pushing you. Come on, let's drive. Other parents are like, if you don't want to drive, then you're going to be sent home to your senior or a junior. At one point around 17 or 18 or 19, you're going to be going to college. You have to know how to drive. Your mom and dad work every day. We pay the bills. I'm a parent. I work every day. So most people under 21, 24, or 30 want to drive. Some people do not. They've been in trauma. They've had an accident. I love the questions. Let's keep the questions coming in. So you have to decide. You're rolled in here because most of your parents want you to learn. They're tired of taking you everywhere. Okay? Keep the questions coming in. Love those. The most common mistakes on the test, you guys don't study. You don't take it serious. You're like, well, I'm taking 3 AP classes. And remember, I've taught AP classes too. You're taking classes, you're doing 2 sports, you're trying to find your way. Some of you may be good enough to get a scholarship. That's less than 1% of you. 1 in 500,000 will get a high school scholarship. I'm just being honest with you. I was lucky enough, and my son was lucky enough. Daughter, but she has some other issues going on. Less than 1% of you will ever get a college scholarship. If you're that good, the schools will find you and they'll pay your way to get your master's, to get your bachelor's degree. And that's a special requirement. Some of you go to very high profile schools right now, right? Right, Noah? Go to that high profile school, okay? So that's important. Right, Jaron? You go to a high profile school, right? That's what's up. And that means something. If you go to a private school, a Catholic school, a school that really stresses development of girls and guys, because there are private schools across the country. There are schools down in Florida. If you're good enough to go there, you're going to get to a big powerhouse school, okay? And then some of your parents would make that commitment. I met some baseball players, some golf. I had a couple of females who are really, really good golf players. So it's about your family making that commitment. And I understand because I've been there before. When do we get our study guide? Kyle, you've been doing the study guide from day one. I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to do a screen share with you. If you can see this, give me a thumbs up. Okay, we've been going over your study guide from day one, going over everything. Every driving school is different. Some have a packet that you'll do from day one. The way this school has this set up, you have some digital PDFs. This is 37 pages of documents, okay? 37 pages, road rage, adverse driving, passing, highway driving, roundabouts, urban driving, rural, residential, defensive driving. Perceive, decide, and act space management system. Road signs, pavement markings, intersections, traffic signals, signs, signals, pavement markings, parking on a hill. I'm just going through all this to show you that I'm thorough. Backing into a parking spot. You got to know how to do this. Perpendicular parking, parallel parking. Reverse. Got to know how to back in your parents' driveway. Got to know how to reverse and go the other way. Braking. Push-pull steering, hand over hand. Steering. Vehicle technology and safety. Mirror usage. Dashboards. Vehicle controls. I'm just being thorough. I'm one of those teachers. Knowing your vehicle. Understanding the HTS, the Highway Transportation System. Beginning your driving journey. Driving is a privilege, not a right. It can't be taken away. And a lot of you have questions about level 1. In order to receive your level 1 license, you must be a resident. All of you are residents. You have to have 24 hours of class. We're going to have 24 hours of class. You're going to have 6 hours behind the wheel. That's state law. Other states are different. New York is different. Texas is different. Miami is different. Every state is different. Once they have passed the segment 1 course, and most of you will, positive manifestation, you have to go to the Secretary of State. You have to. And if your parents don't take you, then your level 1 log hours will never start. So in order, and this is a great talking point, and then we'll get back. So you want to put your questions in as I'm going over this, because you asked me, hey, and Kyle, here's the information on the study guide, and I can show you that too. So we've been going through this, and it's your job to know this, to study it, to take good notes. The really, really good students have a notebook full of notes, and they bring it on the last day. And I see their documentation. They only miss 1 question. They only miss 2. Many of you are going to miss 10 or 12 or 15. You're like, oh, that's good enough. The really good ones miss less than 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. And that's really on you. And remember, I use Kahoot. I use Quizzy. I can look at your data. Okay. So you're going to get your 7-1 completion certificate. That's going to be emailed to you. About 6 years ago, I used to have the green card. I would sign it because I'm a state certified instructor. I give your parents a high five. We're dancing in the parking lot. Woohoo! But those days are over. It's faster for the state. Once everything is turned into the driving school, they'll check attendance roster to make sure you have all your days. They'll make sure your driving card is there. And they'll make sure you paid off, everything is set. And then once that happens, within 12 days, you're going to get a digital certificate. It will be emailed to whoever set up the account. Some of your parents make you do that because they want you to feel the responsibility. One of my students just on the last Zoom, she paid for her whole driver's ed and works. Okay. So you're going to get emailed your digital certificate. You have to provide your Social Security card or letter of ineligibility. So when you're born, we all get a Social Security number. Please put your questions in. Okay. From the makeup class, do you remember the apps? The apps are called Road Ready. Road Ready. It's an app that you download on your phone. My daughter used that app. Once you go to Secretary of State, you're going to get a packet of papers. Congratulations, you have at the first step, and it's really nice. You can write your hours down on a paper log. Let's pretend this is the paper log. You write your information down, when you drove, how many hours, but there's an app. When you're in the car with mom or dad, you hit start. It will keep track of your hours, but also you should do a paper backup, okay? And because this is an online course, you will be emailing, or your parents will be emailing that. Let's pretend this is 3 months from now. You're going to take segment 2. Woohoo! I can go over that. So you got to have your, I'm here for you. You got to have your Social Security card, and your mom and dad had to probably find that because once you're born, it's up in the closet or a cabinet or in a safe until it's time for you, 14 years, okay? You got to prove your legal residency. Are you really a citizen of the state? And then proof of identity. So you got to have those things. And then we talked about driving. How many hours do you need? You need 30 hours, 2 hours at night. You guys asked me about it. Now I'm telling you. You need 30 hours of supervised driving, 2 of which are at night. No, it's real, fam. I'm real. So you need 30 hours in 3 months. You can't get your 30 hours in 1 day or 2 days. It's got to be over 3 calendar months. So a lot of things you're confusing. Man, I'm going to get my 30 hours. I'm going to drive to Texas and back, Miami and back, and I'm good. No, it doesn't work like that. It's overtime. But that's your parents' responsibility. But I got practice. We're going to Texas for a game. Okay, well, maybe you can drive. But then my mom got sick and, well, no one can drive you. Or my dad got sick. Or both my parents got sick. So you have to have an emergency person there. Okay. And then from what I've seen teaching segment 2, a lot of parents are like hands off. If you're too busy and you don't want to work, okay, then you won't get your hours. You know what's funny about your comment is YouTube will lock up people who are spamming. So I'm real, baby. So you have to make a commitment. And this is the easy part. You guys are sitting here, you're online. If I was in person, I would have 36 people. You'll sit here, you'll get your driving done, and then your parents do nothing because maybe your grades are bad, or maybe you're disrespectful, or maybe dad's out of town, mom's out of town. You're with your grandmother. Every situation is different. Every parent situation is different. Your guardian has changed over the years. Guardian used to be like someone who's like outside of the family. Okay, so it's different today. So you got to put in your questions about this because I'm going over it. I listened to you. So you got to have 30 hours in 3 months. Let's pretend all of you are done tomorrow, the 21st. You go to Secretary of State on Friday. Okay. And then you count the days that you have to drive. And some days you won't be able to drive. Most of you will get your driving going to school, going home, going to your cousin's house, going to grandma's. You're not going to be going out of the state or out of the country. Okay. So I'm going over this with you, 30 hours in 3 months, 2 hours at night. And then once you have your hours, some of you won't be 16, but you'll be eligible to take segment 2 because you had to have 30 hours in 3 months. Okay. Got a question coming in. Let's look at this. After you complete segment 1 and print out your segment 1 certificate, where online can you find a certificate? At your home. It'll be emailed to you, your parent or guardian, whoever set up your account. Okay. You'll get an email. You will. It will be emailed to your resident because your parent had to set up the digital account because everything is moving toward digital. Eventually, we won't have paper and pencil tests anymore. I'm waiting for that day, but the state is a little slow, right? So you're going to have paper and pencil maybe another 5 years, maybe 7, I don't know. But once we get a secure method of taking the driver's ed test, we'll go into the classroom or the college or the church. Because I'm an instructor, I will probably have a code with your Social Security, your address, and then I will give you a code. You will log in and you will have 2 hours to take your test. And then once the 2 hours closes, the account locks, and then you'll be notified in 24 hours. That will happen in the future. That will save more time because physically I have a bunch of papers. If I have an accident, there's a fire at my house, heaven forbid. The driving school burns down, heaven forbid. What happens then, right? So you have to start looking toward the future. Just like you guys taking your AP test or an online test, colleges do it all the time. So that will happen in the future. Put questions in before I move on, because some of you are going to ask me the same questions. How many hours do I need? You need 30 hours in 3 months. How old does the person have to be? 21 years old. What do I need when I go to Secretary of State? Your segment 1 certificate, a valid Social Security number, a legal proof of residence, and proof of your identity. Okay, that's what you need. I'm going to pause for a second because I know people are going to have questions. Then I'm going to go on to the next part. Put in your questions, please and thank you. Okay. Remember, you asked for this, and you should want to know. You should say, man, I got to get driving. Mom, Dad, when can we go? Honey, we're tired. We got to pick up Grandma from the airport. She's coming in from Florida. Grandpa will be coming in the next day. We don't have time right now. Mama's cooking 5 turkeys, and the whole family's coming up. I'm joking. The whole family's coming up. Okay? Your parents are trying to prepare Thanksgiving. They're not thinking about you and getting your permit right now. And some of you are like, that's fair. You right. You know, Grandma's more important than me right now. Because Grandma's going to give you a car, but you don't know it. But if you throw a fit and get mad, your mom and dad are going to clock your tea and talk about you at Thanksgiving. All right? So let's talk about level 1. What does it allow you to do? You can drive with the parent or legal guardian 21 or older. Okay? In order for you to be eligible for segment 2, you have to have 50 hours. Some of you will be 16 when you move into those 30 hours to take segment 2. Some of you won't be 16. In order for you to take your driving test in our location, you have to have 50 hours, take segment 2, pass it, 16 and have 50 hours, and then you're eligible to take the test. But if your mom and dad don't take you out, you don't practice parallel parking, reverse parking, really making good right turns, stopping, checking traffic, you are nervous making left turns, you understand where I'm going, you're probably going to fail your test. Put in questions before I move ahead. Are we allowed to bring a notebook on the test day? Of course. The good students have study guides. They actually, and I used to have some, they actually have everything color-coded, highlighted, bookmarked. Those are the students who are really excelling, right? Let's look into your questions. We talked about how old your passenger has to be. Thank you. We talked about why you drive early Saturday, because I want to. I make the schedule. If I start late, I end late. When 16, is there a time you have to start driving? Okay, I understand the question now. We're going to go into that. I'm sorry, Olivia. OG, I didn't understand the question. Most common mistake, you don't study and you'll fail. So that's on you. I'm not at home saying, honey, did you study for your AP examination and your driver's ed test? And you have a chemistry test coming up. And you understand what I'm saying. Okay. I used to be a high school student too. I get it. College student too. I get it. If you don't prioritize your time, you're just going to have a nervous breakdown. We talked about the study guide. You do it every single day. All right, let's keep it going. Okay, segment 2. All you guys have to do is listen. This is where a lot of students say, I don't understand. You're going to get a copy of this once you go to Secretary of State also. But this is in the packet that none of you ever read or none of you ever look at. So, okay, let's pretend you have your 30 hours. Let's pretend this is segment 2, day 1. Woohoo! Hey, you guys made it to segment 2. The driving school is already checked. You have to have your 30 hours. They've done that. They've checked all that because you're going to get a permit issue number from the state. You're going to get a permit issue number. Okay. And in that permit issue number, the driving school is going to check the date that you actually went to the Secretary of State. If that's not 3 months, you're not eligible to take segment 2. You're like, oh man, I can't cheat. No, you cannot. So I'll say it again, you get a permit issue number. And that's how the driving schools verify that you have been driving for 3 calendar months and you have 30 hours in 3 months. Yes, your parents could lie. Yes, you could get in trouble, but really you're the one that is really holding yourself back, right? Because some of your parents won't have time to drive you, and that's sad, but it's true because I've talked to my students. Okay, let's keep moving. So segment 2, in order to receive your segment 2 license, the individual has to at least be 16, have had their level 1 license for 6 months, violation free. If you get a speeding ticket, I had one student get a ticket. The school called me, hey, they're not eligible to take the class because once you get a ticket, it's reported to the state Department of Driver's Education. Eventually, it will go through the system and your account will be flagged. Let's pretend Grace is going to, I don't know, you drove to Las Vegas. You're going to meet the famous chef. You're excited. You blow a light. You get a ticket in Vegas. It's going to take a few months for it to get into the system. Okay. Let's pretend Camden is really excited. He's going to a video game conference. I'll join you. And then he parks illegally. I don't know if you get in trouble for a parking ticket, but a moving violation. Okay. So you want to make sure that you follow the law. You should. Because some of you, if you get a ticket, you won't be eligible to take your segment 2 on time. That's just making you wait longer. Okay. So please listen to this. I'm going over it. Then I want to keep it moving. So in order to receive your segment 2, you got to at least be 16, have had their license for 6 months, violation free, have passed segment 2, completed. Segment 2 is 3 days, no driving in class, defensive driving, crash avoidance, gift of life. Those are the things you're going to learn. Now you have to have a total of 50 hours supervised driving, 10 hours at night with their parent or legal guardian and pass the road test. So around 16, 16 and a half, 16, 8, 9, 10, 16, 11, 16, 12. Once you have your hours and you're ready to take the test, hopefully you pass. I'm looking at questions. Please put your questions in. I'm taking time to go over this because then we'll see the conditions of driving. I promise you we finish that, and we will. Midwest. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so you have your hours. You're 16. You don't have 50 hours yet. You still got to follow rules. Now, level 2 license allows individuals to drive alone. Okay, this is the big thing. You want to drive alone? Here it is. But some of you will forget. Level 2 license allows the individuals to drive alone at all times except 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Yes, I teach adults. Just subscribe and lock me in and we'll talk. So you can't drive between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. That's the rule that the state has set. If you get caught during that time, then you could get in trouble. Hey, bad kid, go home. That's the police. Or listen, we're going to give you a ticket because you're in violation of ordinance 1234. Your parents don't care or they shouldn't be letting you drive. Okay? Every police jurisdiction is different. Okay? Every state, the rules are different. Okay? But there's some generalizations, okay? And like New York, you have a junior's license. You won't get your license until you're 18. So think about that. In Ohio and in Florida, they have changed the laws. You have to come back to your original driver's education provider and take some more defensive driving classes. If you don't believe me, look it up. You guys look it up. Look up the driver's education rules in Florida and Ohio. Please take a moment, look it up, put it into the chat. I need all of you right now to activate, get out of that daydream, listening to someone, put in what are the driver's education rules for Ohio? What are the driver's education rules for Florida? Look those up, put it in the chat. Okay, do that right now. While you're doing that, I'm gonna keep going. Okay, so if you get caught between 10 p.m., 5 a.m., I'm not a police officer. You might get a warning, they might give you a ticket, but that will impact you. Okay, so again, your coach has got to be 21 and older. If you're driving to and from a school event, there's, an exception. Maybe some of you are doing really good in sports. Okay, you're driving back from Ohio or Indiana. Okay, put in questions. If you drive to and from an employer, maybe you work at McDonald's, Taco Bell. Most of you are teens. You're going to work at a fast food place. You might get a friend. My dad's friend owns a pizzeria. I have some students like that. They work all the hours they want. Okay. Level 2 license also prohibit driving with more than one passenger of age 21 or younger. You mean the police will check? The police can tell if you're under 21. Well, what if I have all my friends in the car? You're going to get a ticket. Because the more people you have in the car, the more likely you are to be distracted. Pay attention to this because some of you are going to ask the same question over and over and over and over and over and over and over. So I just want to make sure I'm thorough. Also, we haven't seen Kelsey's Law. You need to see that video. Okay. Under Kelsey's Law, the driver cannot use a cell phone while driving except for emergency situations. How can the police tell if you're under 21? You look like a teenager. You don't have a mustache. Your voice is not deep. You can tell. Okay. And they're going to check your ID because your ID will have your age. When you get pulled over, license, registration, and proof of insurance or permit. That's how the police can tell. I love the questions. Keep them coming in. You're pure. Okay. So around level 3, you'll have 0 restrictions. Level 3, in order to receive level 3, the individual has to at least be 17, have had the level 2 license for at least 6 months, have had 12 consecutive violation-free months of driving, and the level 3 license allows the individual to drive without restrictions. So around late 16s, early 17s, you're free. You can have 50 people in your car if you want. But so the law is set up to allow you to develop and mature. So again, I told you, and I'm surprised I don't have more questions, so you don't have to ask me anymore. We talked about road signs, whatever driver must know, right? This is your little pre-test you took a few weeks ago, sign, and here are all the requirements again. So I like the fact that I go over this information, okay? So I like to be thorough, and then we can get to a nice quiz, a nice test to really see if you're listening or just paying attention. Most of you are listening, some of you are not, because it's just human nature. We talked about road rage. Okay, now we're going to talk about the point system. Okay, we have a point system. You didn't put in information on Florida or Ohio. I asked some of you to put it in. What are the rules on Florida? What are the rules on Ohio for driver's education? Okay. You must hold a learner's permit for 12 months until 18 years old. Put in more information. I'm going over this. Under law, traffic violations are either civil infractions, misdemeanors, or felonies. A felony would be you took candy from the store and you took money from a store and you left. That's a felony. Okay. A misdemeanor is a civil infraction is you ran a stop sign. Okay. Felonies are very dangerous. 6 points. We also went over this. 6-point violations: manslaughter, negligent homicide. You ran over someone and you left the scene of an accident. Felonies involve the use of a motor vehicle, operating while intoxicated, failing to stop and give identification at a crash scene, reckless driving, refusal to take a chemical test, fleeing and eluding the police, failure to yield, causing death or injury of an emergency responder, construction worker, a person operating a vehicle violation causing death. Please ask questions about the 6-point violation. I am so thorough. I love this. Please put in questions. So it says, Ben, is this in Florida or is this Ohio? Please give me some more narrative. It says driver's ed is no longer optional for temporary residents. So this means it's mandatory. Ohio. Okay, Ohio has some strict laws. Okay, what about Florida? Okay, I'm just trying to show you trends that are coming. While you're finding more information, I asked all of you put a link in. How do you make a left turn? You come up to the middle of the intersection, you check traffic. When it's clear and a big gap and you yield, you turn into the nearest lane. Left turns are very challenging for guys, put in this information. I want to click a link. I want to look at it. Let's go. 4-point violations, drag racing, impaired driving, younger than 21, going 16 over the limit, failure to yield or show due caution for an emergency vehicle. That's 4 points. 3-point violations, careless driving. Yes, they do. Some people actually avoid left turns or intersections. They do because it's really, they're scared. 3-point violations, careless driving, disobey traffic signs or signals, improper pass, 11 to 15 over the limit, failure to stop. Florida law requires that drivers drive in the right lane. What about the driving process? You're giving me, I need to know the driving process. How old do you have to be to get your full license? How many hours does it take in Florida? That's what I need, guys. Please put that in. Okay, some people don't go in intersections. Some people don't make left turns. They'll keep making all these turns until they get where they're going because they just don't feel comfortable anymore. Okay, so put in the requirements for hours. Okay, 16, but I need to know more. Must at least be 15 years old. Keep going. I need more information. 50 hours, similar to us. Come on, we get in bits and pieces. Okay. 2-point violation, 6 to 10 over the limit. Open container, moving violations, refusal for the breath test, 10 at night. So if you have 6 or more separate violations or 12 or more accumulated points, that's over a 2-year period, you'll be required to undergo a reassessment examination. You're going to get a letter in the mail that is red. It's going to have your name on there, and you're going to have to go in. Oh, I see some information coming in. Ohio, I love it. Thank you, Kyle. Ohio requires anyone under 21 to complete a full driver's education course with 24 hours of classroom and 8 hours. The big thing here is 8 hours of behind the wheel training. Okay, so Ohio, you have to drive for 8 hours behind the wheel. Bye. Okay, so they're just trying to make sure people are safer. Florida requires, hey, thank you, E. Florida requires an extra 6 hours of state-approved driver's education, driver's ed for learners permit in Florida. That's the thing that everyone is upset about. I try to go live every time I can, Saturdays in between drives, Sundays in between drives. Get us a thumbs up, subscribe. So the biggest thing is these extra 6 hours, a state-approved driver's education course. Oh, I see some more stuff coming in. Here we go. If under 18 years old, must have a signed notarized parent consent form. Step parent may not sign unless they have legally adopted. It's a lot of legalese things, okay? I'm reading. Keep it coming in. Okay, if you're pulled over by a police officer, you want to pull over to a safe spot, okay? Because police are nervous too. Put the car in park, let down the window, turn off the ignition. You have to. Roll down the window, turn on the interior lights. You want to make the officer feel comfortable. They may give her a warning. Hey, sir or ma'am, did you know you were going a little bit fast in this zone? Officer, I am so sorry. I'm not from this area. I'm trying to get to my auntie's house. I am so sorry. I was told just to stay in to make up today's class and tomorrow. There's no tomorrow class. There's no tomorrow class. Today's Thursday. Let's keep going. Double check. Grace, do we have class Friday? Double check the class times.
There's a class, it says.
This Friday?
And Monday.
I don't like you. Usually we don't have. Grace is like, what? Grace, put the class times in, please, for me. Just copy and paste, put them in, so I know. Just put them in. Okay? Because we have a special day. Kev, that's all good. Okay? Be here, make it up, and then you have to register. Okay? It's all good. All right. So, yeah, contribute to the conversation. I love that. Let's keep it going. All right. Cut and paste those days in. I have them too, but cut and paste them in for us. Yes, OG. So you got to put your hands on the steering wheel. Thank you. Okay, Friday the 21st. And then 11, and let's look at my calendar, 21st. So I'm asking, hey, Grace, is the 24th the last day of the class? Hold on, let me close my calendar. Yes?
Or online.
Yes, so you will have me in person. We'll figure it out. Okay, so you'll be seeing me tomorrow. It's all good. It's all good. So you want to make the officer feel comfortable. They're going to ask for registration, proof of insurance, and driver's license or permit. And, okay, officer, it's in my wallet. You know, you want to make people feel comfortable, right? You want to make people feel comfortable. Once the officer has returned to their vehicle, they're going to run your license plate, your registration, proof of insurance, and permit. Okay. If driving a standardized authorized vehicle with their emergency signals, these are just some other information. We do have the move over law. Okay, put in questions. I'm going to show the other video. Put in questions right now. Put in questions right now. Things I went over. I explained the graduated licensing system. I explained the point system. I explained that it's your priority to get done as quick as possible. You can't control when the driving school will send you your digital certificate. It takes about 10 days. Every driving school is different. They used to have a list of segment 1 and segment 2, but it's all done digitally now because it's a lot faster. We talked about road rage, put in questions, driving in hazardous weather. How do you pass? What do you do? Put in questions. I want to be thorough because we got about an hour, and then we'll do some quizzes. We want to see the 6 conditions of driving. Really good video. That's helping you understand that at night, every time you drive, it's always different. The light's different. The time is different. Someone's walking out with their dog. A bird could come out. A deer could come out. A traffic light could fall. It could stop working. Someone who's really tired could pull out in front of you. Someone who had a very hard day could just cut you off. We don't know the conditions of other drivers or the roadway. Okay? Every county takes care of roads differently. High traffic driving environments. We talked about this. That's that thoroughness. Rural driving. Residential. Children are unexpected. They will always run. Pedestrians entering the roadway chasing a ball. Communicate your intentions. Guys, look at people when you're driving. Make eye contact. That's really important. Give me 1 second, please. Guys, I want to say thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed this live. Subscribe. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.